What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. What we're going to do, I got an article that I wanted to share with you, and then we're going to get into the technical analysis. But first of all, what I want to do is talk about how Bitcoin right now is at extreme fear. And what we're going to look at is Bitcoin at its peak fear moment. With the halving coming up, guys, was that the last final dump that the manipulators or the big whales were doing, and then they came back in and bought it so much cheaper to ride this up into the halving? So that's what we're trying to figure out. As you guys know, I'm more of a trader. I like to get in and out. I like to do a lot on the 4-hour time frame. But what we're looking today is at a little bit more of the long-term holding up into the halving. So is this an area that you would want to be accumulating? That's what we're going to get into today, guys. So if you get some from these videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we're going to dig into this article. Then we'll get into the technical analysis. So what we're looking at here, this article, it's on UToday/Bitcoin. I'll leave that below, but it says Bitcoin price peak fear may be in. And this is the guy's name. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that there, but it goes on to say decoupling, losing the correlation with the plummeting stock market, has replaced halving as the most crucial point of the Bitcoin bull narrative. What I also want to point out with that, guys, this is Bitcoin's time to shine. If ever there was a time to shine, when you have all this money being pumped back in to the economy, just printing with nothing to back it, this is the time for Bitcoin, gold, silver, land, those type of assets to really shine, in my opinion at least. But this is really when Bitcoin should step up. And with us going into this halving, I don't know how. We have extreme fear at 12. We have basically the stock market's falling apart. I know today they're up right now about 1,000 points, but overall, guys, they're down over 37%. Okay, they're in a bear market, and we have to realize that. So they may have some strong reactions due to the news, like of the unlimited basically printing into the U.S. economy. But overall, we have to realize what's taking place there. And Bitcoin, like we talked about, there's only so many, that 21 million that will ever be mined. So we really need to look at that in comparison to what's going on around the world and in the market. So what it goes on to say here is, with the Federal Reserve announcing an unlimited money injection, meme authors are mocking the value of fiat currencies. This will certainly result in a new search for a safe haven. The analysts who accurately predicted the Bitcoin BTC price behavior over these recent tough days claimed that one indicator is crucial for decoupling. Well-known cryptocurrency analyst Willy Woo posted a chart to spark a discussion on whether this notorious decoupling of the safe haven assets, Bitcoin and gold, with the falling stock market is real. According to him, next week's price and index movements will provide the definitive answer that we're looking for. And what he's showing here is all the different decoupling. Like I said, I'll leave this link down there so you guys can look at all this yourself, because I got a lot I want to get into today. But when we just scroll over and we look here, Bitcoin investors should be prepared to lose all their money. Real reason behind 10% Bitcoin price crash. Let's see, Bitcoin dead, never to recover. Crypto trader on general narratives. Peter Brandt says zero could be Bitcoin's future. So typically when we see these things taking place and you're seeing everything that's so negative, along with even like we talked about that Bitcoin fear and greed index at 12 right now, that extreme fear, and then you add in all these headlines over here, typically, guys, that's what you're going to see near the bottom. You're going to see that type of talk. And I really respect Peter Brandt. I love his charting and everything, but in this, I disagree with him. I do not believe Bitcoin will be going to zero. I don't. I really believe that we have built a strong base of people who really believe in Bitcoin. And the fact that, guys, you can't just print Bitcoin just like you can fiat currency, just print it with nothing to back it. Bitcoin, it takes that energy, it takes that computing power to mine the Bitcoins. They're valuable, they're worth something, there's something that's backing them. It's the energy that went into them to be able to mine them. So we always have to think about that. But this is typically what happens. You get the Bitcoins dead, and then it goes on a massive rally. Or we hear, on the opposite side, when it was at $20,000, everyone's going, it's going to 100,000, it's going to 200,000, and everybody's hyping it up. And that a lot of the times is when you want to start looking potentially to start exiting your position. So that's something that we want to get into today as we're going to get into our charting. But it goes on to say here, another analyst, Charles Edwards of Capriol Investments, added that there is one indicator that could help solve this problem. According to him, it is the fear and greed index continues to rise. The likelihood of decoupling will do the same. Peak fear may also be in now. The fear and greed index now highest value in at least 10 weeks, or weeks at 10. suggests the worst fear may be in for the time being. If this continues to rise, so does the probability of decoupling. So what you can kind of look at here, as it's showing the fear and greed index at the time of this, now extreme fear, yesterday extreme fear, last week extreme fear, last month fear. So that's something that we definitely need to pay attention to, because a lot of the times when everyone's talking about it crashing, it's never going to come back, that's the time when Bitcoin shines. So I just wanted to put that on your radar there, that little article there. Guys, like I said, anything in this space can happen. You always have to be prepared for it and never invest more than what you're able to lose. But when these people are saying Bitcoin's going to zero, I definitely don't believe that, because I know there's some traders who definitely would be stepping in as Bitcoin's falling down even to the $1,000 level. There's people who'd be backing up the truck at $1,000. So, that's my opinion. Remember, that's not financial advice. But next, we're going to get into this technical analysis, and we're going to look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin is close to the area that I talked to you about yesterday. We're still holding this uptrend. That's great. We have these higher lows coming in. That's exactly what we're looking for. Now we're at this previous peak, and that was around that $6,800. What we were talking about yesterday was how we needed to get up above that, find support off that, then come up here and tackle this 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame. I love playing the 4-hour time frame, guys. So basically, I'll base my trades a lot of the times off that 4-hour. Then I'll get my entry off the 1 hour or the 15-minute, or I'll play sometimes if I'm just in and out pretty quick. I'll play off that 1 hour. Then I'll look at that 15 for entries as well. But I really like seeing the patterns on the 4-hour time frame play out. I think that's important for us. But if we can make a strong move to the upside, what we're going to be looking at there is that 200 moving average, and that's going to be at 7,722. That's going to be the next area. We've been trading below it now since we lost it. That was February 25th, 2020. So that has been basically a whole month that we've traded below that, and it's acted as overhead resistance. So for us to come back up there and challenge it, we haven't even challenged it since then. That would be important for us, and you can see how the trend changes. So right now, guys, this happened back, we'll say March 13th. So this is still considered a short-term uptrend that we're in right now. We need it to continue into a intermediate term or secondary term trend, but that's going to take a little bit more time. Typically past that 3-week mark, one month mark, into several months is where you're going to look at that secondary trend. Overall, the primary trend is down, so we have to be aware of that, but we are having this nice little reaction out of here. What we need to see is more volume, in my opinion. I think that's going to be something that's important for us. And then obviously, guys, staying up above this $6,800 and having candle closes up above that. Now to the downside, because we always on this channel have a plan for the upside, the downside, and the sideways. In terms of the downside, I want to see the bottom of this channel hold, and this is going to be at $5,700 needs to hold, as well as this green trend line. If we start having candle closes below that on heavier volume, most likely that's going to mean that this trend here that we're in is going to start breaking to the downside, and it could get pretty aggressive. But guys, we just add in all these factors and we look at things and we say, okay, the Bitcoin fear and greed's at extreme fear. We are starting to put in those higher lows right now, but we need volume for that continuation so we can start making strong aggressive moves to the upside and start breaking up through some of these critical areas for us. Right now, the RSI on the 4-hour time frame is at 66, so we could have more room to run. Remember, typically 70 is going to be that overbought territory, anything over 70, so we do want to pay attention to that. But that could be enough room to get us back up to this 200 and to test that, which I believe would be important. So next, what I wanted to do as we were looking at this, I wanted to step out to the 1-day time frames so we can look at this in a little bit longer term perspective. So in terms of the 1 day, you can see we got our nice little move out of here. This wick here, guys, was almost 19%. That wick was so crazy. But that's where the institutional investors, after this climactic dump, they jumped in there, and they're probably still even holding from that area that they were able to get it, even down in here, that $4,000 range. So they're probably sitting in a nice position right now that they don't want to give up just yet. But what's going to be important on the 1-day time frame now is to start having a candle close right up above that 20 EMA, and that's going to be at 6,678. I want to see a candle close today up above that on some more volume. That's going to be important for us. A lot of the times this 20 EMA can play a big factor for us on the 1-day time frame. You can see how it's acted as overhead resistance for us for quite a while now. So if we could candle close up above that, I think that could be a big deal. Then we need to get up above our 40 moving average, and that's in yellow, and then our 50 and our 200, which is almost going into a death cross now. So we do have to be very cautious about that. And guys, technicals work. You know, this space is a little bit different. Sometimes you can get one of those crosses to the downside and then you pop to the upside due to manipulation and everything. But I like to point these things out to you because a lot of times they will come into play, and you can play upside or downside plays off moving averages crossing. Okay, so that is something, do some studying on it, and then look for confirmation as well. That's always important. But in terms of the relative strength index, we're at 47 on the 1-day time frame. So we're not overbought, we're not oversold, we're just kind of cruising back and forth right now in that area, which is important for us. So we have enough room to get up to the upside if we are going to continue. But this is the time really Bitcoin should shine, guys. This is it. Let's see if the whales are going to step in, and let's see if they're going to defend these areas. We had our bullish cross that we were talking about yesterday, histogram ticking to the positive, but that also needs to come on more volume, which is going to be critical for us. Then we can throw on our channels here and just take a look at this. We are right up above the middle band. We are sitting with support right up on that middle band, so that could potentially be enough if we could find support off that to start making a strong upside move. And then we'd start targeting some of those areas, guys, around even that $8,000 range, which is going to be important for us to break up through. And then we'll look at our awesome oscillator. And I always like to go off price action, just tell you how I like to do things, and then I'll throw in these indicators. I'm not a huge guy of just going off indicators. But you can see we're starting, the histogram starting to tick back up to the positive there. So what we're missing, in my opinion, we need more volume. And we need to candle close today up above that 20, which is going to be important for us. And then if we take a look here, our Dow right now, so I can show you our Dow is up about 1,400 points, and that's what you'd expect with what they're talking about and all this money injection and everything. Guys, we've been down over 10,000 points, so I hope we can make up a little bit there. But if we look at Bitcoin and we go into the technical analysis here, what I want to show you on the 1 day, you can see we're just running a little more neutral there. We have a 9 sell, 10 neutral, 9 buy. Oscillators, we have a 1 sell, 9 neutral, 1 buy, and then moving averages, we have an 8 sell, 1 neutral, and 8 for buy. So you can start seeing on the shorter term now, they're throwing buy signals. On the longer term, we have sell signals. Over here, we have a lot of neutral, so we're just really sitting in a mixed bag right now. And this is the time, obviously, you want to protect your capital and all that, but you just want to start factoring these things in. You want to say, you know, do you believe that Bitcoin at the time of the halving or leading up to that is going to be more than $6,700? Do you believe in Bitcoin that much, or do you feel as though we could come back down here and test some of these other levels? And that's where you can have cash ready as well. So you have two different plans. If it drops, great. I have an opportunity, you know, to step in. If you're doing dollar cost average and you're looking to invest, that could be a great spot. And if it continues to move to the upside, then you're at least in a position, which is a good thing as well. So you'll get a little bit of that, and then you can look to add your position. But these are all the things that I like to look at, guys. This is what I like to play, and I just wanted to share them with you. So check out that article. I will leave a link down low for you. But I think this is an important time, guys. You know, Bitcoin really needs to step up right now. So like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Leave me some love down low. Let me know what you're thinking about, what you're doing. Are you in a Bitcoin position right now? Are you still waiting to get in one? Are you waiting in cash and being very protective, waiting for even a better spot if we cool down? I want to know what you guys are doing, so let me know down low, even if it's just, you know, a happy Tuesday or whatever, guys. God bless you all. Take care.